Hi, I'm Chris Haigh and this is the Fiddle channel, and today we're going to play an Irish jig, Donnybrook Fair. Donnybrook Fair is a well-known session tune, a Irish jig, and I've actually got a collection of 30 Irish jigs arranged into sets on my Patreon page. So if you like this one, then hopefully you will join me on Patreon and get your hands on that. I'm going to show you the basic melody, and then I'm going to show you various ornaments and approaches to bowing and to variation that you can use on this tune. Okay, I'll play once through with probably no ornaments and with little or no attention to the bowing. We'll just keep it mostly separate bows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Most of the tune is pentatonic, so if you want to warm up, that's the scale to play. There's a few F sharps stuck in there, but I think apart from that it's mostly pentatonic, which makes it nice and easy on the fingers. If you are fairly new to Irish music, you will no doubt struggle with the bowing, which looks easy and sounds easy, and to a classical player it's really hard not to do, which is basically what is written, so who's to blame you for doing that? So the key is to have really short bows and to have quite a strong emphasis on the 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the 2 and the 1, as opposed to that. And I always thought this was a really easy thing, but I've taught so many people who are kind of beginners to jig bowing that I realised that it is actually quite hard, and you mustn't feel embarrassed about being one of those people who doesn't get it the first time. Okay, now let's see what we can do in terms of ornaments. So I've written a few ornaments in. We've got the roll, which always works easiest and best on a first finger note. And we're rolling with the 1, 3, 1, open 1. Classical players would know this is a turn. But the notes aren't distributed evenly. It's as much of the note as you can just on the first, and then you just flick the notes, the other notes on as fast as it's physically possible. So you want to practice. And that third finger doesn't have to go all the way down. You don't want to hear that note. That's what you want to hear, just like a disturbance of the note. So that's the roll. We've got a thing called a double cut. So end of the first line. So we are preceding the melody note with first finger, third finger, first finger. We've got another one of those in the third line. always you will slur the grace note into the note that's coming after. You might decide to slur the whole 3 notes following it. Roll. So that's just a suggestion of the ornaments that you can put in. You can leave these out, you can put them in, you can put extra ones in as you feel like it. Now, as regards slurs, so a jig can mostly be played separate bows. But when there are an odd number of notes in a bar, as with bar 4, you don't want to be forced into playing an up bow at the start of your next bar, so I would look for a slur. So in that case, 3 separate, 2 slurred. And that brings you back to a down bow. There's only a couple of places where that happens. It happens at the end of the penultimate line. So there's 5 notes. You slur up in order to get down to a down. But you might also do some slurs just for variety, so that you're not getting a whole load of da 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 da. So for example, I've written in a slur right at the beginning. But it could equally well be, you could move the slur to somewhere else. Or you could do no slurs, or you could do all slurs. Although you notice, you can't slur that unless you put a grace note in. And slurring that many slurs, it'd be a bit weird anyway. So I've already given you far too many options. But this is the joy of playing the same tune over and over again, hundreds of times, at dozens or hundreds of sessions. If you are able to change the tune in small ways every single time you play it, then it is so much more satisfying. There's a thing called variation by simplification, which I like to do, which is, instead of adding extra notes, is to leave a few notes out, or lengthen notes. And this works really quite nicely. So I'm going to go through with the backing, and I'll play particularly the starts of lines. I'm going to simplify the notes, so play fewer notes but longer notes. There's also something I did there, which I call a drop bow, which is where you kind of lift the bow off, take a tiny break, and a bit like flautists do, and then come back in. So I'm missing one half note out. It just adds a little bit of variety and a tiny little bit of space, because all too often the bow is permanently on the string and is just leaving no space at all. So loads of ideas there for what you can do with a simple tune like this, and as I say, that it's part of a collection on my Patreon page, and each jig is part of a 3-part set and 30 tunes in all. So thanks for watching. If you'd like a copy of the sheet music, do subscribe to the channel, send me an email, I will send you a PDF, and do please have a look at my Patreon. Thanks for watching, see you again soon.